that, it starts. Sick. Oh, I can't believe you ratchet. I can't believe you get the handbrake. Oh, I forgot they're made out of plastic. That's scary. Wow, I don't know if I should lean on that. I don't know if my fat ass is... Plastic whip. Let me run you down. We need to talk about this little Renault Clio. I bought this car about 1.5 years ago, I think, and the plan was to have an out-of-the-box, excellent to use, hot hatch that I could do some road trips in, get to some cars and coffees in a cool little thing, do some track days, and generally enjoy it. Now, it's been a bit of a stinker, so I want to run you down the whole owning experience, really, and where we're at today with a working Renault Clio 197. So, let's talk about it. I'm really excited. I get to drive my little car today. This is cool, Finn. So the first problem ever occurred was when I got stuck at my golf club. And it was very annoying. I was going on holiday the next day, went and had a round of golf with my godfather. And it just sat in the car park, just going... Like I said, I was going away the next day. So I was like, well, I'll just drop it to my little local garage. They're not a specialist at anything. They just sell petrol and have a little mechanic that does MOTs. So I was like, well, we'll drop it off there and see if they can figure anything out while I'm away. If not, then we'll get it sorted. So it went in. When I come home, they said it was the camshaft sensor. Camshaft sensor? I think that's what it was. Whatever the problem is with these always. So that happened. So I got the car back and by some miracle it worked. I was like, oh, brilliant. Problem solved. That is excellent news. Well, took on a track day. Had no issues. It was brilliant. I say no issues. If the brakes didn't work. But these are the things. I always, like I said in my last video when we were talking about the 350, the best way to find out what your car needs is to go and use them. I don't want to spend thousands without it needing to be done, you know? So, brakes needed doing. All right, cool, understood that. I'll be honest, I don't like the suspension on it. I need to get a set of coilovers for it. BC Racing. I'd love to hear from you guys again if you were happy with the 350Z stuff. But yeah, I want to put a set of coilovers on this bad boy and upgrade the suspension eventually. But we go again, and guess what happens? So, go on holiday. I come home and I left it in the garage. Left it on charge, on drip charge in the garage as well. Get in the car. It wouldn't start again. I was like, mate, like, so I ordered a crank sensor instead of a cam sensor. So I ordered the wrong one. So then I ordered up the right one and I changed both anyway. I was like, whatever. It was an absolute nightmare. Let me show you this. Oh, yep, forgot about that. Of course. Why would it not be on the wrong side of the car? Let me show you this. So I know that they've crammed a 2-litre engine in here, but by goodness me, there is no room to do anything. The sensor I had to change was down here, and I had to take all of the induction. Oh my God, it was just so annoying. It reminded me why I hate sort of stuff some of the time. But it was nice weather while doing it. And when I got the car, it also had an oil leak around one of the bolts up here. I think it was that bolt in there. And I had to have that fixed. But to get this problem resolved, what I did is I got in touch with Alex at AEW Motorworks. Lovely chap. And he is a Renault guru. The car hadn't started for about 2 months because when I changed those 2 bits, it still wouldn't start. And I was kind of lost. I put a brand new battery in it. You got to remember, all of this costs money. I was like, man, I'm probably like 500 deep now into trying to fix this problem since paying somebody else a sum of money to fix this problem. So let's drop it off to there. But I didn't just have that work done. I want to read all the stuff I had done on that because when I dropped it to him, he did a load of work for me on it that needed doing on the car. So while Alex had the car, I'm going to just read it all off because I don't want to get any of this wrong. He did a full service on the engine. He used fully synthetic 540 oil, genuine oil filter, Malhide engine and cabin air filters. I really wanted that done because I obviously, this car has got such an amazing service history, and I wanted to keep all of it done. And this has got the best service history out of all of the cars that I own. Like legitimately, the folder is like this. He's also supply and fitted lower swivel joints on them because, well, they were falling apart. It needed a new front brake pipe and rear brake pipe, and they were not freaking cheap, by the way. I have to just admit that. I kind of wish I'd just gone and got hell pipes for that, but whatever. Castrol brake fluid, he upgraded it to a race brake fluid for me, and he also fitted brand new Ferodo DS2500 pads and also new pins and all that in the calipers, the Brembos. So now, and that was like a £1,300 bill, so that was like a big wedge of money. The problem was, nothing to do with Alex. Alex was great. The service was great. I recommend AW Motorworks if you have a Renault and you want it looked after by someone that really knows a lot about these. The problem that happened was I drove it up there on the trailer, and when I got there, bear in mind, the car hadn't started for 2 months. When I got there on the trailer, it started first time. How can they diagnose a problem when there is no problem? So he did all the work for me outside of fixing this starting issue. Why, Renault? Why? Why you, dog? So anybody that knows me, by this point, I am getting fraught. I have a, well, at this point, it probably weighs me in at about £7,000, and it's a paperweight. It sometimes works, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. It's very, very irritating. And that was the problem. I really wanted to enjoy it. I bought the car to enjoy it, and instead, here I am, the mug that's fixing it. So what I decided to do was find a local electronics specialist, thinking maybe it's an alarm problem or it's something wiring related. It is French after all, so it could potentially be that. So I take it along with this specialist, they look over it, and they're just like, nothing's wrong with it, mate. Well, there is something wrong with it. There is definitely something wrong with this car. And they were like, can you just come pick it up? We'll pay the bill, whatever. I was like, oh, whatever. Let's just go get the bloody thing. I've had enough at this point. I've had enough. I was like, fuck, I'm just going to get rid of it. So I then found an alarm specialist, because these people said, we think it's got an aftermarket alarm that's the problem. So can you have that looked at? So PVS Security, local to me, absolute legend, right? He came down that same night and tore it apart. It had an alarm in it that he knew what it was and all this sort of stuff. And he went away, got all the diagrams. He come back again, put it all back together, and we still had a problem. Bless his heart. He tried so much with me on this. He was such a PVS Security. Link down below if anyone in the area, Essex. I think he does all over the country actually. If you want an alarm, a tracker, or anything like that fits your car, use my man PVS Security. It's linked down below. So then I'd had enough. I gave in. I rang up my old employers, John Banks, over in Ipswich, and I said to them, because I found out they have a Renault Master Tech, which Colchester apparently, allegedly doesn't. So I went to Ipswich, plus I was always going to use John Banks over anybody else because they used to employ me, and I really enjoyed my time there. I took the car there while I was away in America. Well, it only took about another £1,000, but we got there in the end. It was fuel pump and tank seal. So, I spent nearly £3 looking for a fucking fuel pump! But, from what I read online, it wasn't a bad decision. It wasn't a bad idea, because apparently to get the fuel tanks out of these, it's an absolute dick of a job, and I couldn't be bothered to do it. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm at the point where I'm just like, well, if I can pay somebody else to do it, I probably will at this point. I want to enjoy these things, so let's just get it going. But I had them planned on when I get it home, selling it, because as you can see behind it, I bought a 350Z that's just parked up over there. I thought it'd be a great idea just to buy a car with the money from selling one you haven't already sold, but then when you get it home, yeah, let's go for a drive. I need to explain myself in this car. I'm gonna drop the dog home too. So real quick before I get into this drive, go and sign up to the mailing list. It's absolutely free of charge. I send them out a couple of times a week. You get exclusive early access to the blog free of charge. You also get access to all of the latest deals, offers, and where I'm going to be at, and videos, and everything's going to be in them.
going forward, early access, unless you're already either a Patreon or YouTube channel member, you get the videos extra early on there, and obviously the additional content when we make it. But yeah, the mailing list, hit that up right now. You're gonna love what we're doing going forward. People, we're back behind the wheel of the Clio. Oh my God, it makes me feel so good that this is finally happening. It's been a real frustrating year in terms of car ownership because literally every single car broke, but we'll go through that in a separate video. We'll do a 2023 year review. It's been mad, it's been absolutely mental. But I wanna talk more about the Clio. Wow, yeah, it's been a very stressful few months, but after all of that work that I explained earlier, the car now works again. And I think it's only fair that we hop in it and we go for a little drive, and you can just see how it makes me feel really, and why I've decided to keep hold of it and keep it in the stable of vehicles that I currently have. So I've got an awesome road trip planned. Like, I haven't got it booked yet, but I've got it planned. And when I go on the road trip, it's gonna be not just for content creation. This is a road trip that I've wanted to do since I started watching Harry's Garage, actually, because I wanna go hit up the Route Napoleon in this car. I wanna go into France, but I'm not gonna make your typical go and just do this one thing. I'm gonna basically try and make a movie, and you'll see when it comes. I'm not gonna make like an actual like movie or storyline. It's gonna be like almost like a documentary, like a Top Gear Grand Tour style road trip thing. It's not just gonna be like one thing that's happening on this trip. I'm gonna try and have a real French time, and it's gonna be really good. I've been wanting to do that literally since the start of this year, and none of the cars have worked. It's just so similar to a Honda. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's so similar. It's similarities with, it's a high revving 2 litre, and I tell you what, when I got it home, I had planned, when I got it back from being fixed, I genuinely had planned on selling it. That was like, I had 2 people semi-interested, I don't really know. I did message them both when I got home and neither replied, so I think they were, you know, it is what it is. But we got it back home anyway, and I started using it. And the thing with this car as well, this car is, what's the word? Convenient, practical. This car is practical. Fin fits in the boot comfortably. It's a 5-star safety rated car, so if I have an accident, we're relatively safe, fingers crossed. It's comfortable. It's got these beautiful Recaro CS seats. I mean, come on. The driving position's nice. I feel I sit a little bit high, not necessarily a bad thing while I'm driving on UK roads. I think the visibility is amazing, like huge windows everywhere. It's small. In terms of modern cars, it's small. So I can park it in spaces that you can't fit, definitely not the X5 and the M3 and all them sort of cars in. I really, really enjoy owning it. It's a perfect little city car. See, I live near Colchester and Ipswich, so I've got 2 big towns. One's a city, apparently, which it isn't. Colchester Council just trying to make more tourism. They're just crap. I'm not even going to go into politics today, but we got this amazing little car that works an absolute treat. And I'll tell you what, it's slotted into my life so beautifully, like I never thought it would. And now it's back working again. It reminds me why I loved it so much. And I'm like, man, like, I don't regret buying the Z. I think with a clearer head, I probably wouldn't have bought the Z. I could have just fixed the E36 up, but still, that's got so many issues that we maybe will have to go over just so you understand before I rip it apart, why I'm ripping it apart. But I just wanted to jump in here, have a little rip out in it. That's basically the reason why I took today off work, just so I could drive this car, basically. Which, I mean, out of all of the cars that I've got, I can't believe it's this one that I've fallen the most in love with. But it's yellow, it's cool, it's nippy, it's fun, it sounds great, it's comfortable. It's not obviously been very reliable. It has its little issues still. I'll tell you what they are. I've got the air set on 2 right now, and there's no blow. Put it on 3. It's like a tornado. It's terrible, which is very annoying because it's freezing. Like I said, it's so cold. But it's also got this other fault with the window wipers, where like the metal arms that are on the window wipers that connects it, that pulls it on the motor, they've gone. And I was like, it's another massive problem. Blah, blah, blah. I looked at it on eBay and they're 17 quid. So I'm probably gonna get some of them and we'll chuck them on. I just love this car, man. I love it so much, and it's something that I never thought I'd have. I didn't ever have sporty RS Clios or Megans or anything on my radar. It's worth mentioning with this, like obviously I had it up for sale, but I genuinely don't think I've had the full experience of enjoyment out of it yet. I want to do more road trips, I want to do more track days, I want to go hit up loads of UK tracks if I get time this year, especially Cadwell Park. I'm still yet to do Cadwell. I'd love to get this car over to the Nürburgring. Here's where I'm hoping Al Clark will just send me a little link and be like, book on this track day, this is where I'm going to be, because I love Al Clark and I hope that we can do more trips together. And I just want to get out and about anymore. I don't want to get rid of this yet. I'm not ready to give up this experience yet. I love it so much. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh man, it feels so good to be back. I'll see you again in the next video. I might go the long way home, you know. I have to think I will.